Hello friends, welcome to Unacademy, India's largest online learning platform. I am Mohan K. I am a geophysicist, author and a teacher. I will be teaching geography and environment on Unacademy friends. Please make sure you attend my classes regularly and subscribe to Unacademy. Presently, I am working as Associate Professor of Geography, Bangalore University. I have a teaching experience of 12 years and a research experience of 15 years. I have authored 2 books on geography and environment, Just Pure Orders Volume 1 and Volume 2. Please make sure you check them out on Amazon. I am also working as advisor to NDRF on geohazards. I have traveled to more than 100 countries as a geophysicist, and I am Nat Geo certified educator and explorer friends. You can also learn from other top educators like me. You can see the pictures and names here. In this session, I will be discussing climatology friends. Climatology is one of the most important topics in geography, and it is one of the most misunderstood topics as well. So, I will be discussing some of the subtopics of climatology in today's class. Please subscribe to Unacademy's Telegram channel, Let's Crack UPSC CSE. And you can see the introductory price friends. Use my code UPSC to subscribe to Unacademy, and 18 months, that is 1 year 6 months combo price is 63,898. Also subscribe to UPSC Unacademy Combat friends, wherein you can attend the test series, 56 questions, 60 minutes, and it will be starting from 23rd January. And also we are starting individual subject test series in Hindi as well as English friends. You can see individual subjects like economics, ancient history, medieval history, science and tech, CSAT, etc. We have two types of subscription friends. One is plus, another one is iconic. You can see the subscription fees here for 36 months, 24 months as well as 12 months. Use my code MUPSC friends to get 10% off. In iconic subscription, you can see we have 36 months, 24 months as well as 12 months friends. Use my code MUPSC to subscribe to Unacademy. In this slide, you can see the optional subscription friends. You can see 36 months course, 24 months course as well as 12 months course. Use my code MUPSC to subscribe so that you will get 10% off friends. In today's class, I will be discussing climatology. Climatology is very important for UPSC exam friends. You can see the word climate. So whenever we speak, normally you would have heard of your friends saying today's climate is not good. That is wrong. What you have to say is weather. Today's weather is good or today's weather is not good. Weather is present atmospheric condition. What you feel now. The present state of atmosphere is weather. Whereas climate is long-term average of weather conditions, friends. Okay. So climate is long-term average of weather. So weather is short-term, climate is long-term. So you have to understand the basic difference between weather and climate here. So in climatology, I will be discussing some of the subtopics here, friends. That is atmosphere, formation of atmosphere. I will be discussing composition of atmosphere. That is gases, moisture, water vapor. I will be discussing some of the topics related to atmosphere. Please make sure you attend my special classes as well as plus classes, friends, on Unacademy. So let's start with our first topic, atmosphere. Friends, you can see our Earth here. You can see planet Earth is the 5th largest planet in the solar system. It is very unique planet. It is a Goldilocks planet. It is the only planet which sustains and supports life. So that is the reason we need to protect what we have, friends. It is one of the most important planet in the entire universe because it sustains and supports life. So in this picture, you can see Earth and it's surrounded by a blanket of air. This thin blanket of air around the Earth's surface is known as atmosphere. You can notice, friends, I am calling our atmosphere as a lifeline on Earth because our atmosphere protects us from harmful radiation coming from the sun, that is UV and X-ray. Our atmosphere keeps us warm through greenhouse gases. Our atmosphere filters water through water cycle. It provides us essential gases for our survival. It provides nutrients and gases to the plants. So like this, our atmosphere plays a very important role in sustaining life on Earth. So you can notice this, friends. Our atmosphere was formed through various events such as degassing. You can notice this, friends. Degassing is a cooling process. Initially, our planet was in a hot molten state. The temperature of the Earth or primordial Earth was very high. Initially, the Earth started to cool. When it started to cool, it started radiating all the heat as well as gases into its surroundings. You can see some of the primordial gases like hydrogen, helium coming out. So degassing is a cooling process, friends, through which Earth cools by radiating most of its heat energy. You can notice the gases, heat and all coming out here. So degassing, then volcanic activity. Every now and then we hear about volcanoes. Volcanoes release large amount of pyroclastic material, smoke, ash, gases, dust into our atmosphere. Every time there is volcanic activity, they rejuvenate our atmosphere by adding new gases and dust. All this will envelop the Earth's surface, will encircle the Earth's surface due to Earth's gravity. Imagine, what if there was no gravity? All these gases, dust particles would have escaped into space, correct? So because of the gravity, all these gases, dust particles have encircled the Earth, forming a thin blanket of air that we today call it as atmosphere. So atmosphere is a blanket of air around the Earth's surface formed due to degassing, second volcanic activity, third Earth's gravity. You can see here, friends, it is derived from two Greek words, atmos meaning vapor and spera meaning sphere. Okay. So you can see the composition of atmosphere, there is gases, dust particle and moisture. All these three together we call it as air. So what is air? Air is a mixture of gases, dust and moisture. Okay. You can see the gases here, friends, all the important gases in our atmosphere I have shown in the form of a pie chart. You can see the most abundant gas today is nitrogen, followed by oxygen. You can see nitrogen is 78% approximately, oxygen is 20.95%. Together you can say 78 plus 21, that is 99%. 99% of the gases are nitrogen and oxygen, followed by argon, carbon dioxide. These first four gases are important, friends. These are regularly asked in the UPSC examination. After carbon dioxide, we have neon, helium, krypton, hydrogen, xenon. Okay. Apart from that, we have other gases, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen compounds, sulfur hexafluoride, perfluorocarbon, chlorofluorocarbon, hydrofluorocarbons, etc. Apart from gases, we have dust particles as well. So if you see the beautiful image here, you can see the light beam falling on the dust particles here. If you are entering a dark room, in the dark room you can see large number of dust particles illuminated by the sunlight. So this is what we call as Tyndall effect, named after John Tyndall. It talks about how a light beam is scattered by the dust particle. You can see this, friends. These are the dust particles which are very minute, which are floating or suspended in the air. Such suspended floating particles are called as dust particles or aerosols. Aerosols. Apart from that, we have moisture, friends. Moisture comes to our atmosphere through evaporation, transpiration and sublimation. The moisture that comes into our atmosphere goes up, condenses in the air, forming clouds, and the clouds precipitate rain on the Earth's surface. The water percolates through the soil and rocks and reaches the river and returns back to the sea here. So this cyclic movement of water is called as water cycle. So please check this out, friends. So moisture comes into our atmosphere through sublimation, transpiration and evaporation. The moisture goes up in the atmosphere, condenses in the air, clouds form and the clouds precipitate rain on the Earth's surface. The water percolates through the rocks, soil and reaches the groundwater. The groundwater emerges on the Earth's surface as spring, reaches the river, the water flows further into the sea. So this cyclic movement of water is called as water cycle. In this slide you can see all the names mentioned, friends. So water cycle is a very important process that purifies our water. So nearly 71% of the Earth's surface is under water. So that makes our planet a blue planet. So this is a very important topic, friends. I request all of you to mention all these topics, and in UPSC mains examination they will be asking a question, what is a cyclic resource? Comment or elucidate. So then we need to discuss all these aspects, that is how moisture comes into our atmosphere, and how moisture condenses in the sky, and how the precipitation occurs, and then how the water percolates into the soil forming groundwater, and then water emerges on the earth's surface as spring, and again how it flows back to the river and sea. So let's come back to the dust particles, friends. So I told you that dust particles are minute, floating, suspended particles in the air, and they are also called as aerosols. Aerosols are of two types, solid aerosols, liquid aerosols. Liquid aerosols are what we generate when we sneeze or when we cough. The particles that come out of our mouth is liquid aerosols. Solid aerosols can be divided into two types, respirable suspended particulate matter. PM stands for particulate matter here, friends. Other one is non-respirable suspended particulate matter, which are harmful for human beings. You can notice this, friends. Respirable suspended particulate matter usually comes from fine clay in the form of dust, sawdust when we cut the wood, pollens from the flowers, ash, smoke soot. So these are some of the dust particles which comes out into our atmosphere naturally. Non-respirable suspended particulate matter are very minute particles which are released from either cigarette smoke, unburned hydrocarbons, that is diesel engines, industrial smoke, stubble burning. So when the farmers burn the husk, stubble burning, that also releases large amount of dust particles and soot into the air, and crackers. So all this release large number of non-respirable suspended particulate matter, friends. So in this slide I have shown you different types of particulate matter. PM10 particulate matter, 10 is 10 micron. The size of the particle is mentioned in 10 micron, friends, here. PM 2.5 micron, then PM less than 1, or I am taking an example of 0.1 micron here. You can see this, friends, here. The comparison is shown here. The sand particles, human hair, and dust particles PM10 and 2.5. So we have something called National Air Quality Index, friends, part of Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. It comes under Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. So in this 8 types of pollutants are measured. You can see the pollutants mentioned here. Carbon monoxide, remember, nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide, ozone, lead, ammonia, PM10 and PM2.5. So these are the 8 pollutants measured. It comes under one color, one code for different air quality. Okay, the link is also shown here, friends. This is a link from Central Pollution Control Board. If you click on the link, you can see different cities of the country. You can check. So this National Air Quality Index is being implemented almost all state capitals as well as million plus cities. As of now, 10 cities have been covered. You can see I am taking Delhi example, city Delhi. I am taking station Anand Vihar here. Okay, so today's date and time. You can see all the particulate matter shown here. PM2.5, PM10. You can see the index, and you can see the other gases mentioned here, pollutant mentioned here, friends. And for each one of them, we have given a color code. One color, one code, friends. This is what it indicates, one color, one code. If the air quality index is 0 to 50, it means good. Dark green color is shown. The health impact is minimal. You can see this. What if the pollutant levels are 401 to 500? Means severe air pollution, maroon, and you can see affects healthy people and seriously impacts those with existing diseases. Okay, so national air quality indicates how good the air we breathe. So remember, friends, life is every breath, and if you pollute our air, so it's going to affect our overall lifespan. So we need to keep our surroundings clean. So air quality index is a very important aspect of our surroundings. better the air quality, better is our health. So we have to make sure, so these kind of information are provided to the people so that they realize how they are affecting the environment, in turn how environment is going to affect them. Apart from this, we have something called SUFFER, that is System of Air Quality, Weather Forecasting and Research. This is a project of Ministry of Earth Science. It is designed by Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology, Pune, and it is operationalized by IMD. It was first created by Dr. Gufran Beg. He was one of the chief scientists of IITM, Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology. So this is about air quality, weather forecasting and research, friends. You can see it monitors all weather parameters of a particular place, and at the same time it measures all the pollutants. Here you can notice it is also taking into account various volatile organic compounds also. You can see benzene, toluene, xylene are also measured in this, friends. So SUFFER is another system of air quality, weather forecasting and research that we need to remember. So let's talk about some of the topics related to climatology, friends. In this topic, cloud shading is one of the topics I have taken because it is related to moisture and dust particle. Clouds are floating mass of water droplets or ice crystals. Cloud formation requires two things. One, the dust particles as well as moisture. So that is the reason I am discussing this topic here, friends. So dust particles act as a hygroscopic nuclei on which moisture condenses to form clouds. So what if there is no moisture? Then the clouds are not formed, correct? So we need sufficient moisture as well as dust particles. So what if there is no dust particles? When there is no dust particle, we can introduce those dust through cloud shading. You can see a jet here carrying large number of dust particles. These dust particles have crystalline structure so that the moisture can easily condense on them, forming clouds. This is a picture before cloud shading. This is a picture after cloud shading. We can see this. So most commonly used chemical or dust particle is silver iodide. Also we use potassium iodide. Dry ice or frozen carbon dioxide was also used, and also propane gas was also used, friends. You can see in this image. Various other methods we use is using a aeroplane flare or using a rocket or using a propane gas, friends. So this the chemicals like silver iodide are sprayed into the propane flame. So the heat takes the silver iodide up. So the moisture condenses on the, you can see here, the moisture condenses on the silver iodide, forming clouds. So this is artificial introduction of dust particle to induce cloud formation and rainfall. So cloud formation and rainfall, friends, please remember. So this gives us artificial rain. So cloud shading gives us artificial rain. So cloud shading is a artificial introduction of dust particles into the atmosphere to induce cloud formation and rainfall. Next topic I have chosen is acid rain, friends. Okay. So acid rain is one of the major environmental hazard we are facing today. So this is mainly because of the pollutants we are releasing, like sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, which are released from industries or from the automobiles or from the thermal power plants, especially the coal based thermal power plants. All these gases, once they are released, you can see goes up and reacts with the water in the clouds, forming sulfuric acid and nitric acid. You can see here, friends. So carbon dioxide released from the air becomes carbonic acid, nitrogen dioxide becomes nitric acid, sulfur dioxide becomes sulfuric acid. All this acid are precipitated down during rain, so that we call it as acid rain. Normally the pH of rainwater is 7, that is neutral. During acid rain the pH comes down to 4.5 to 5.6. So acid rain is very dangerous, friends. So across the world, wherever I have travelled, I have collected some of the images of acid rain sites. You can see some of the sites, like you can see the forests have been destroyed here, the crops have been damaged. So acid rain can cause severe damage to crops. It can result in large scale crop loss. It can affect flora and fauna. Here you can see the pictures here. It can destroy monuments here. Okay, it can bleach paints on these structures, monuments, sculptures, and also I have seen acid rain contaminating drinking water, and acid rain can leach the minerals, macro and micronutrients in the soil. Okay, and acid rain can also cause vision loss. In one of the incident in South China, acid rain, Gongzu, near Gongzu, where many of the people who were drenched in acid rain, they suffered severe vision loss. At the same time, they had hyperpigmentation on the skin. So acid rain causes a lot of damage, friends. Here I have given some of the important damages or impact of acid rain here. You can just note down. So let's talk about another topic, friends. In this topic, we are going to discuss about insolation and terrestrial radiation. Please notice the word insolation. It means incoming solar radiation. Insolation stands for incoming solar radiation. We all know that sun is our mother star, parent star. It is a source of light and heat energy. In the sun, we have large amount of hydrogen gas. So what is sun? Sun is the hot ball of hydrogen gas, where hydrogen atom fuse to form helium. During this process, large amount of radiation comes out, electromagnetic radiation comes out. This electromagnetic radiation is reaching all the planets including Earth. So this is what we call it as insolation. X-ray, UV, near infrared radiation, visible radiation reach us all the time. So can I say we are all surrounded by electromagnetic radiation? Yes. So you can notice this electromagnetic radiation coming from the sun or insolation coming from the sun is short wave, high frequency in nature. So these are short wave in nature. So these short wave radiation can easily pass through the gases in our atmosphere. So our atmosphere remains transparent for the incoming radiation. Once it reaches the Earth's surface, Earth acts as the absorbing body. You can notice that the part of the Earth which is facing the sun is day, the other part of the Earth which is not facing the sun is night. So this is dark this side. So what is darkness, friends? Darkness is absence of light. Absence of light is dark here. You can see day and night. So rotation of the Earth gives us day and night. Please notice this. Earth initially acts as an absorbing body. It absorbs the heat. But Earth is a poor conductor of heat. It doesn't conduct the heat down. So what happens? Earth radiates the heat back. That is called as terrestrial radiation. Terra means earth, friends. Terra is a Greek word which means land or earth. So Earth is radiating the heat back. That is called as terrestrial radiation. These terrestrial radiation are basically long wave in nature. The terrestrial radiation are basically long wave. As a result, some of the gases in our atmosphere like carbon dioxide, ozone, nitrogen compounds like nitrogen dioxide, hydrofluoro and chlorofluorocarbon, water vapor, they are capable of blocking the outgoing radiation. They are capable of blocking the outgoing radiation. As a result, some of the heat is trapped within our atmosphere. That causes the air temperature to go up. That causes the surface temperature to increase. So this is what we call it as greenhouse phenomena, and these gases are called as greenhouse gases. Remember, friends, when I say all this, many of you come to the conclusion that carbon dioxide and these gases are dangerous. No, carbon dioxide is a very important gas. Only thing is, it should not exceed a limit. It should remain within the limit. So we are increasing the concentration of these gases in our atmosphere. Especially post-industrial period, we are consuming more resources, we are burning more fossil fuels. As a result, the carbon dioxide concentrations are increasing, methane concentration is increasing tremendously in our atmosphere. So who are dangerous? Human beings are dangerous, friends. It is not carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is a life-sustaining gas in our atmosphere. Okay. So please remember, these gases are actually very important. Without these gases, imagine, without these gases, all the heat coming to our Earth would have gone back. That means Earth would have been a very cold planet. Earth would have been a cold planet. So please remember this, friends. So greenhouse phenomena and greenhouse effect is very important for our Earth. Okay. So insolation and terrestrial radiation. So insolation depends upon various aspects. That is the rotation of Earth on its tilted axis. You can see here Sun and Earth here. We can see Earth is slightly tilted by 23.5 degree. This axis of the Earth. Axis is the imaginary line around which the earth rotates from west to east. You can see the earth is tilted and part of the earth is facing the sun here. This is northern hemisphere and this is southern hemisphere. I am showing you the summer solstice, friends. Here you can see the Tropic of Cancer is getting the vertical rays from the sun. So the insolation depends upon certain factors. That is, first is the earth's rotation on its tilted axis. Next is the earth rotation around sun. You can see earth is having an elliptical counterclockwise orbit. Earth is having a elliptical counterclockwise orbit around sun. In this orbit, if you notice, sometimes earth comes very close to sun, sometimes it is very far. So we have aphelion, perihelion. So perihelion is when earth is closer to sun, peri means near, helium means sun. Okay. Aphelion is when earth is farther from sun. You can see here, I have mentioned the words, friends. Okay. So aphelion, perihelion. So the average distance between sun and earth is known as astronomical unit, AU. That is approximately 150 million kilometers. This you have to remember. So this is the second factor, friends. Insolation depends upon various factors. One is earth's rotation on its tilted axis. Then the distance between sun and earth is another factor. Third factor is the angle of insolation. If you notice in this image, the sun rays are falling on the earth at different angles. Near equator and tropics, you can see the angle of insolation is very high. Whereas as we go towards the polar region, the angle of insolation is very less here. So higher the angle of insolation, stronger is the heat energy received. So hotter the surface. So the tropical regions of the earth here receives nearly 340 watt per meter square of energy here. So that makes these regions hotter. Whereas the polar regions receive very less deficit, that is 70 watt per meter square approximately. As a result, the polar regions tends to be cooler. So what is cold? Absence of heat is cold. Now you know why the polar regions tend to be colder, because here the amount of heat energy received is less, whereas here the amount of heat energy received would be high. Okay. So please remember this, friends. So angle of insolation is another factor. Fourth factor is seasons. In which season we are in? So we have 4 different seasons, friends. Seasons are division of the year into different weather conditions like summer, winter, spring, autumn. All these are caused due to tilt of the earth. Earth's tilt and revolution of earth around sun gives us various seasons. So this you have to remember. I will be explaining all these topics in detail. For now, I request all of you to see this, friends. Let's talk about electromagnetic spectrum. As I said earlier, we are all surrounded by electromagnetic radiation in various forms, correct? So sun is one of the natural sources of electromagnetic radiation. All these radiation with respect to their wavelength or frequency is called as spectrum. Spectrum, you can see here, like you can see gamma, X-ray, UV, visible, correct? You can see visible light, then infrared, microwaves, radio waves. So each of them with their with respect to frequency or wavelength is called as electromagnetic spectrum. Please note this, friends. These rays, gamma, X-ray, UV are all short wave, high frequency radiation. Okay, so wavelength is very short. Frequency means number of repetition of a wave. Okay, number of repetition is also very high here. Short wave, high frequency. Please remember, wavelength and frequency are inversely proportional to each other. You can see the wavelength is short, as a result frequency is high. Short wave, high frequency radiation. So they are bringing high intense radiation from the sources here. So sun is one of the natural sources of electromagnetic radiation. So sun emits X-ray, UV, visible and near infrared. Okay, you can see the visible spectrum mentioned here. Violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. You can see. You can see here. So red and orange have longer wavelength, so they can travel longer distance. So they are scattered less here. Whereas here you can see violet, indigo, blue, green. So they have shorter wavelength. As a result, they get scattered very quickly. So now many of you will be having a doubt. Why does the sky appear blue during the day and why the sky appears dark at night? So now the question is, what is the color of our sky? Is it blue or is it pitch black? Correct? You need to ask yourself this question. So next time you see the sky during the day, you see blue sky, correct? And at night what you see is the pitch dark color. So what is the color of the sky? So you should know friends, violet, indigo, blue, these colors they get scattered very quickly because of their shorter wavelength. Okay, when they get scattered by the gas molecules in our atmosphere like nitrogen and oxygen molecules, the blue light enters our eye here. When it falls on the retina here, so we have photoreceptor cells, cone cells and rod cells. The rod cells are for white and black vision and cone cells are for color vision. So we have three types of cone cells. You can see here blue, red and green. These three are called as primary colors. So when the blue light falls on the retina here, you can see the optical nerve carries the signal to the brain. When the blue light falls on the retina, the blue is stimulated. When the blue is stimulated, the signal is sent to the brain and the brain tells us this is blue. So that is the reason during the day, our sky appears blue in color. So it's all because of the scattering of light in our lower atmosphere, friends. So sky appears blue during the day because of scattering of violet, indigo, blue by the gas molecules like nitrogen and oxygen in the lower atmosphere. So some of you might ask, so why can't we see violet or indigo? Because we don't have those cells, cone cells, to recognize those colors. That is the reason we don't see them. But blue is recognized by our eye, so the sky appears blue during the day. So friends, these are the kind of topics that I will be discussing in climatology. I hope all of you have understood a lot of things in a very short span of time. So I hope all of you have liked my class. Please make sure you attend all my classes regularly, wherein I will be discussing these topics in detail. Okay. So please make sure you join our UPSC batches, friends, which are starting very soon for the upcoming examination. I request all of you to use my code MUPSC to subscribe to Unacademy. Thank you, friends.